We've all been there, completely stuck, just looping over and over on some painful question that has no answer. We dig and we dig for a why because we believe that understanding is the only way to move on. But what if that desperate search for why is the very thing keeping us in a cage?
Oh, you know this feeling. You lay out your case, it's perfectly logical, you explain your point of view for what feels like the 100th time, and you just hit that same brick wall. You walk away feeling even more frustrated, more unheard than when you started. It's maddening.
It's like 3 in the morning, and your brain just will not shut off. You're replaying every single moment, every word, trying to make sense of something that feels, well, senseless. Why would they do that? How could they be so cruel? And the questions just echo in the dark, and they offer zero comfort.
Ah, yes, the if-only game. We've all played it. If only I had said this, or if only I hadn't done that. We turn into these detectives of our own past, right? Hunting for that one little clue that could rewrite the whole story. But we always find the same painful ending.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole struggle. Our gut instinct tells us that if we can just figure out the reason for our pain, we can conquer it, we can control it, and finally be free. But the truth is, for some things, that relentless hunt for an explanation isn't the solution. It's actually the trap.
So the way out of this cycle is a concept that seems, well, completely backwards at first. It's called the acceptance paradox, and honestly, it's a powerful shift in perspective that can totally change how you deal with suffering.
Okay, so here's the paradox in a nutshell. This idea comes from a field of psychology called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT for short, and what it tells us is that a huge chunk of our pain doesn't come from the bad thing that happened. It comes from our desperate, ongoing struggle against the reality that it did happen. The paradox is that letting go of that fight is what actually gives you your power back.
This is so important because it reframes our entire idea of what acceptance even means. It is so easy to think of it as being passive, like you're just giving up or admitting defeat. But it is not that. It's not about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. Acceptance is an active choice. It's the decision to stop watering a dead plant and instead pour all that energy into something that can actually grow. It's a really profound form of wisdom.
So if fighting the unchangeable is so painful, why on earth are we so wired to do it? Why do we obsess over getting an answer, even when we know deep down that one might not exist? Well, it turns out there are some pretty deep-seated psychological reasons for this.
I mean, this is the real question at the heart of it all, isn't it? If letting go is the key to freedom, why does it feel like one of the absolute hardest things in the world to do? Well, it turns out our brains are kind of working against us here, caught in a few really powerful mental traps.
So first up, there's something called cognitive dissonance. Our brains just hate it when reality conflicts with our beliefs, like our belief that fair things should happen to good people. To get rid of that tension, we scramble for any explanation, even if it's one where we blame ourselves. Then there's the illusion of control. We have this sneaky belief that if we can just pinpoint the exact cause of a past pain, we can build a perfect shield to make sure it never happens again. And finally, there's our deep human need for meaning. It's just so much easier to process pain if we can see it as a lesson or a test. Random, pointless suffering, that's terrifying. So our brains are literally hardwired to search for a reason, even when that search is what keeps us stuck in the pain.
Okay, so we get the trap. We see how our brains can work against us. But how do we actually get out of it? This isn't just about yelling at yourself to just let it go. That doesn't work. It takes real practice. So let's actually look at a strategy. 4 concrete steps you can take to start reclaiming your peace.
The path forward looks something like this. Step 1. Just allow the emotion to be there. Before you jump to why, just sit with the sadness or the anger. Give it some space. Step 2. Actively reframe your internal question, and we're going to look at exactly how to do that in a second. Step 3 is to write an acceptance letter, a really powerful tool to formally release the past. And finally, step 4 is to create a closing ritual to give your brain a very clear, definitive signal that you are moving on.
Okay, now this is the most powerful step in action. Just look at the shift here. Every single old question on the left is passive. It's stuck, it's looking backward, it puts you in the position of being a victim of the past. But every new question on the right, it's active, it's forward-looking, and it's so empowering. It takes the focus off the unchangeable why and puts it squarely on the what now, the part you can actually control. This one simple switch moves you from being a victim of your story to being the author of your next chapter.
So, we've seen the trap and we've walked through the steps to get out of it. And all of this leads to one really profound conclusion about where true freedom is found. And it's probably not where most of us have been looking.
Let's just sit with that for a second. This is the whole thing right here. Some things happened. They were unfair, they were painful, and maybe they make no sense at all. And maybe they never will. The work isn't to make them make sense. The work is to accept that they are a part of your story, but they are not the end of it.
And that's the real liberation. The relief we're all searching for. It isn't going to show up in the form of a perfect explanation. It arrives the moment we give ourselves permission to stop searching for one. Freedom is realizing you don't need to understand everything to be whole, to be happy, and to move forward.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is that one painful why that's been taking up so much rent-free space in your head? What if, just for today, you decided to set it down? What kind of energy would that free up? What could you build in its place? The choice and the freedom that comes with it is all yours.